All right. All right. I'm starting things off with a little instrumental here. We'll get it going. What's good, everyone? What's good? I see we got a full house in here. Uh, salute everybody. Salute. Check. Ayo. Curls. Obadiah. Evan Duncan. Candace. Shalom, Brother Lawrence. Mr. Pump and Dump. Um, and Third Ward. Salute everybody. Salute. Thank y'all for coming out. Salute to you as well, E-Man Perry. Man, after that, I find it funny that I had this already planned and then saw the title for what for some supreme fuckery that's going on. but it just seems so appropriate. I don't know why. But we're gonna start things off today. So as you can tell by the title, is so it's a king you want to be. So basically, in American nigga culture, the most common thing I hear clowns say is, "We was kangs and quains in Africa," but they're completely foolish and have no comprehension of the fact that they don't have the actual mindset of kings. And I'll be using audio from Angel. It's a very thrilling dialogue between Illyria and Angel on how she's telling him that he's compromised by power. And true kings are not compromised. Don't compromise for someone else's power. And I'll be correlating this with the story of David. And I'll be using 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 14 through 23 to illustrate just this. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some audio here on that real quick. Give me a minute. Fair use, niggas, fair use. And here we
Your
go.
kingdom turned to ash and stale wind. I slew the white-haired one first.
But this can't be.
And then Wesley, as he raised his weapon. And your demon clown, as he wilted in terror.
And I'm next.
No, vampire. You were last.
Why?
You know nothing of this. You're from an earlier point in the timeline. You are a paradox. You're impossible.
We attacked you.
I didn't give you the chance. That you learn when you become a king. You learn to destroy everything that's not utterly yours. All that matters is victory. That's how your reign persists. You're a slave to an insane construct. You are moral. A true ruler is as moral as a hurricane. Empty, but for the force of his gale. But you, trapped in the web of the wolf, the ram, the hart, so much power here. And you quibble at its price. If you want to win a war, you must serve no master but your ambition.
All right. So that was all of it that pertained to what I've got going on. As you heard, she said that a king is as moral as a hurricane, and only shows emotion for the force of his gale, meaning what's under him, what's in his web of influence. He only shows emotion for what is actually his, and he does whatever it takes to win. We've seen in many narratives and stories held within the Bible how this is true. So I thought of no one better than David in his story. So starting off with verse 14. And David was dancing before the Lord with great enthusiasm. And David was wearing a linen ephod, a priest's upper garment. So David and all the house of Israel were bringing the ark of the Lord to the city of David with shouts of joy and with the sound of the trumpet. Then as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, David's wife, looked down from the window above and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord. And she felt contempt for him in her heart because she thought him undignified. So here we already see that she's looking down upon him with contempt because he is behaving in a manner to her that is unlike a king. But as we heard Illyria speak, she said that a king only shows emotion for the force of his gale. Him bringing the Ark of Covenant home, he is showing emotion for the force of his gale, as he's supposed to. He's showing emotion for everything that is leading up to him gaining power, becoming a king. He's showing emotion towards that. Moving on with 17. They brought the ark of the Lord and set it in its place inside the tent, which David had pitched for it. And David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. When David had finished offering the burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts' armies, and distributed to all the people the entire multitude of Israel, both to men and women, to each a ring-shaped loaf of bread, a cake of dates, and a cake of raisins. Then all the people departed each to his house. Then David returned to bless his household, but his wife, Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, "How glorious and distinguished was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself and stripped off his kingly robes in the eyes of his servants, maids, like the one of the riffraff who shamelessly uncovers himself." You see here, she's already talking down on him when he is her husband, he is her future king, and she is already spitting in the face of a God that she claims to be serving or of by not respecting her role as the helpmate. She's getting out of line here. Evan Duncan, looking for stronger individuals they can believe in. That is how all kings are created. It is also how gods are born. So Skate Eisen. Yes, Evan Duncan, that is true. People always are looking for stronger individuals that they can believe in. That is how kings are created. And so to speak, that is also how gods are born, or what people perceive to be gods. Because as I stated before in my previous stream with Sigma Jones on the rule of two, the simple fact of there being that people, that there are people that have their only function in life is to serve those that are more powerful and have the will to shape the world, to shape countries and nations to their will. And that is the only purpose that they serve. Equality is nothing more than a mere tool used to appease these weak people. And it will always be that. Moving forward. So verse 21. So David said to Michal, "It was before the Lord that I did this, who chose me above your father and all his house to appoint me as ruler over Israel, the people of the Lord." And you see right here, he's putting his foot down to let her know that she stepped out of line. And he's letting her know that he's going to put her back in her place, as a man should. "Therefore, I will celebrate in pure enjoyment before the Lord. Yet I will demean myself even more than this, and will be humbled, abased in my own sight and yours, as I please. But by the maids whom you mentioned, by them I shall be held in honor." That's speaking to your point that you were making in the in the chat, Evan Duncan, that Eisen stated in Bleach. That looking for stronger individuals that they can believe in. So he's stating here that even though she's trying to demean him, he's letting her know that he's already being lifted up and created a king in the eyes of the people that she threw him in with when she basically disrespected him with her tone and her words. And last but not least, verse 23, Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child to the day of her death. Uh, so that was her punishment for her disrespect, um, as well as to David, as well as coming from David, and then as well as coming from God Himself. There, it just goes to show that with this, you know, she automatically removed herself from importance by stepping out of her tone. It's showing here that the woman is the help meet. She's the one who is supposed to actually help and serve the one who is of authority, which at this point in time is David. He's letting it, well, he's coming into it. It's known by everyone with all of his achievements, the force of his gale that he's doing. He's showing that he is the one to be. And her, because of her enjoyment of her previous life of being on a pedestal of her position, now she's actually lowered herself out of favor in the man that she wanted to attach herself to be king, to not even be able to bear him a child. It just goes to show that here it's biblically speaking and teaching still that there are authority roles for a reason. The man is biologically created so to be that authoritative figure. We see it through biology, with everything that men have done throughout human history, and then we also see it here within these texts. Equality is an illusion. There are people that are created, that are born, that have a better purpose, or that can do better things than other people. It's something that people need to accept, and the best thing that you can do is find your role within that. But to the title, about how I was speaking about how, you know, we see so many times for this is the term I use for American nigga culture, that, you know, we were kings and queens in Africa. I mean, just the fallacy of that statement is stating that only kings and queens were brought over here to be slaves. That's foolish off the bat. Nothing logical about it at all. That, you know, they only left paupers behind to to lead people of Africa. That's foolish. And that everyone is a freaking king or queen. It just goes to show with the mindset of these individuals that not everyone, and very few actually have the mindset of kings, of true leaders, of true people of authority and power. And they want to use a narrative of equality to make themselves feel better about their failures and about their position. But regardless of their feelings, this proves life and facts and what you accomplish and achieve prove otherwise. That's all I have at this time. Get ready to start up the barbershop talk. I want to thank everyone for coming out and listening and hearing this. But we'll open up this barbershop talk here real quickly, and we'll go from there. Thank you all. Peace.